Chapter 1, The Lucky Girl Who Broke Off the Engagement. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Jinshui Ancient Domain, Yeoman City. Then who is the person sitting on the dragon fish horse? It should be young Master Guanhai from the Yunwei Division. Why would he come to a remote place like ours? Are you going for fairy Gu? It must be because I think about how amazing Gu Xianzi was back then. Both her talent and appearance were rare in the world. But now, alas. She is the goddess of Xuanhuan Palace. She will be the next palace master of Xuanhuan Palace. Unfortunately, a year ago, she went crazy while practicing martial arts. Not only did she ruin her appearance, she also injured Xuanhai, and her cultivation was completely destroyed. I heard that Gu Xianzi and young Master Guanhai entered into an engagement when they were young. Could it be that he is here to break off the engagement today? Does this need to be said? Even the Xuanhuan Palace is insignificant in front of Yunwei. What's more, Gu Xichao's cultivation is completely ruined and her appearance is ugly. What qualifications does she have to enter the eyes of young Master Guanhai? Oh, it's so pitiful that everyone pushed down the wall. The monks were talking in low voices, looking at the dozen figures suspended above the city, their eyes full of fear, in the air, in front of a group of cold-faced Qingqi guards of the Yunwei Division. The young man sitting on the dragon fish horse slowly opened his phoenix eyes. His eyes were flying sideways, and he was very heroic. He is tall, clear and innocent, with sharp eyebrows and thin lips, and a cold expression, showing a sense of aloofness, however, beneath this detachment, there is an underlying coldness. Young Master, Yeoman City is down below, and the Su family is in that direction. A man wearing green soft leather said, very respectfully. The young man nodded lightly, without any disturbance, as if the collapse of the sky and the earth could not move him. However, although he looked calm and composed on the outside, he was panicking in his heart. Where is this? Didn't I faint when I was crossing the road and tripped over a little girl jumping on rubber bands? Why are you here? Countless information poured into his mind and merged into his blood, giving him a splitting headache. The memory fragments of the past are combined and spliced together, and finally converge into a long river of time. This is a strange world of cultivating immortals. The owner of this body is named Li Guanhai, and his identity is young Master Yunwei, good guy. It seems that I have time traveled into the body of an amazing person. His talent is powerful, his background is terrifying, he is otherworldly, and everyone admires him, based on his experience in reading a lot of books in his previous life. This is a perfect villain. According to memory, I should be on my way to break off the engagement now. The woman named Gu Xichao had peerless beauty and astonishing talent. Later, she was reduced to a useless person, her appearance was completely ruined, and she suffered humiliation and cold looks. This character design, the girl of luck, is a piece of cake. The next plot development is very familiar, and it must be the old routine of counterattack and slap in the face. For some reason, he had dreamed of this situation in his previous life, and more than once. Could it be that his time travel was not an accident? Ding, the system binding is successful. The mechanical beep sounded in his mind, and Li Guanhai was stunned for a moment. What the hell is this? The host can form a bond with the genius and obtain all the qualifications, talents, innate luck, acquired luck, secret cultivation techniques, etc. of the genius. Special reminder, qualifications, talents, luck, secret cultivation techniques, etc. can be superimposed. Current task, to establish a bond with the daughter of luck. The time limit is 1 day. Obtain mission props, Ice Muscle Jade Bone Skill /. Chapter 2, I, Li Guanhai, say I am worthy of you. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The sound rolled down, as if the sky was collapsing and the earth was splitting. Suddenly, a strong wind blew up, the wind and clouds changed color, and dozens of divine rainbows pierced through the clouds and mist and fell from the sky. The cold and murderous aura covered the world, and a young man dressed in black, like a god, walked into the hall with the breeze. His eyes fell on the stars. He was extraordinary and aloof, with a divine and immortal appearance, and his eyes were cold and indifferent. Behind him, there were dozens of expressionless people with murderous aura all over their bodies. At this moment, everything was silent, the hall was silent. Everyone recognized the identities of these people, and their eyes were full of fear and anxiety, but no one dared to speak. Li Guanhai, dressed in black, had a cold demeanor, and walked to Duanhong, whose forehead was already covered with cold sweat, and his voice was flat. "What does it have to do with you?" That just one sentence made Duanhong's psychological defense line completely collapse. His legs softened, and he fell to his knees with a plop, crying and begging in a trembling voice, "I have no intention of offending the young master. I just want to take back the treasure of my Xuanhuan palace. I dare not be disrespectful to the young master." Li Guanhai ignored him and looked at Gu Shichao, who was standing behind Gu Zhuang and staring at him, with a gentle smile on his face. "Shichao, hello." Even though Gu Shichao was tough, his heartstrings were deeply touched at this moment, and ripples appeared. "She is really a fairy with elegant appearance and a crown of heroes. Any man with extraordinary grace in the world is just his background. If all this had not happened, he should be her future husband." Gu Shichao laughed at herself in her heart and soon calmed down. She put down her jade hand generously, revealing her rotten-side face, and bowed. "My little girl Gu Shichao, meet Master Guanhai." "Shichao, actually I came here today because I have something to tell you." Li Guanhai said so. Gu Shichao guessed his purpose, so he was not surprised. He nodded and said, "Shichao understands that Master Guanhai came here today to cancel the engagement. After all, this engagement has not been consulted with you and me, so it is not counted, so Shichao will not force it." "Cancel the engagement?" Li Guanhai looked surprised. "Shichao, where do you get this from? Why should I cancel the engagement?" "What? Aren't you coming here to cancel the engagement?" Gu Shichao was stunned. "Of course, I came to you today specifically because I was afraid that you would be hit hard and would have wild thoughts and do some irrational things." "Who am I, Li Guanhai? I will never be unkind. Since you and I have made an engagement, it is the fate of 10 lifetimes. How could I let you down?" Li Guanhai said this with emotion, as if every word came from the heart. According to the routine, a lucky girl like Gu Shichao will definitely restore her appearance later, and her cultivation will surpass the younger generation and rise in a counterattack. What he said just now not only helped him pick up a beautiful fiancée for free, but also left a good impression of being loyal and righteous to the world. It was a win-win situation. Why not? Everyone in the hall was stunned when they heard this, especially Gu Shichao, who was stunned in place, wondering if he had heard it wrong. He was not here to cancel the engagement. The head of the Gu family was ecstatic and at the same time heaved a sigh of relief. Today's hurdle was considered to have been overcome, with the words of the young master of Yunwei, let alone the son of the god of the divine water palace, even in the entire 3,000 worlds, who would dare to offend the Gu family easily. And those who tried to exploit the Gu family turned extremely pale at this moment, and their calves were trembling. It's over, how could things turn out like this? Li Guanhai didn't care about the changes in the expressions of the others, and his phoenix eyes stared at Gu Shichao closely. "Well, the rotten profile is really delicious, but if she recovers, she will undoubtedly be a charming and beautiful woman." "Young master." Gu Shichao felt a little embarrassed by his gaze, and subconsciously raised her hand to cover her face. She had been prepared for the breakup, and even anticipated what kind of crisis she and her family would face after the breakup, but her fiancé's simple words not only resolved all the crises, but also gave the Gu family and her a huge face. Gu Shichao stared at Li Guanhai with mixed feelings. Although she had never seen her fiancé, she had heard of him. Seeing him today, he was indeed a peerless beauty, rare in the world. Moreover, he had a terrifying talent for cultivation, and he was the future master of the Yunwei Division. Such a man with impeccable talent, background, and appearance, which woman could not be tempted? Gu Shichao's heart was throbbing, and then she thought of something, and her expression became gloomy again. She spoke, her voice tender and sweet. "Shichao is ugly, her cultivation is useless, she is not worthy of you." "I say she is worthy." Li Guanhai swept his eyes across the hall, his words were calm and light. "Li Guanhai, say she is worthy, who dares to say no?" The words were light and domineering and confident. The invisible pressure enveloped the world, making everyone in the hall almost breathless. Li Guanhai looked at Gu Shichao, who was stunned, and said softly, "Shichao, I will not abandon you." Although the flowery words were corny, in order to establish the bond, in order to survive, he had to risk it. The favorability of the girl of luck has increased, and the conditions for establishing the bond are about to be met. Gu Shichao's heart trembled. At this moment, she felt the dark clouds covering her head dissipate, and the golden sunlight fell, brighter than ever before. Her pretty face was flushed, her beauty was bright, and she was very shy. Li Guanhai smiled slightly and turned around suddenly. Xuanhuan, who was worried, froze all over, and his legs trembled like sieves. "Kill him." "Yes." Two Qingqi guards appeared on Xuanhuang's left and right in an instant, each with a palm. "I was wrong, no." Poor Xuanhuang hadn't finished speaking before he exploded into a ball of blood mist. His body and soul were destroyed. Everyone in the hall, including the Gu family, took a breath of cold air. It is rumored that the Yunwei Division has a cruel style, decisive and resolute killing. Seeing it today, it really makes people feel cold all over. Xuanhuang is the son of god of Xinshui Palace after all. How could the next palace master of Xinshui Palace be wiped out so easily? Li Guanhai looked around, and no one dared to look at him, especially those who came to cause trouble for the Gu family. They didn't even dare to raise their heads. Now they only have deep regret in their hearts. If they had known that Master Guanhai was not going to cancel the engagement, they would never come even if they were given 1,000 lives. Li Guanhai looked at Gu Shichao, still with a smile on his face, and said, "Shichao, there are too many people here, let's go to another place to talk." Chapter 3, Bound to the Girl of Luck. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Okay, please follow me, sir. Gu Shichao nodded gently and walked in front to lead the way. Arriving at the inner courtyard, the two walked side by side on the quiet path. Gu Shichao had taken out a silver mask and covered her face, because this would make her feel better, at least she wouldn't be so inferior in front of him. "Shichao, you've suffered this year." Li Guanhai spoke, his tone was very gentle. "It was really unacceptable at first, but now I'm almost used to it." Gu Shichao shook his head, his tone full of self-mockery. Li Guanhai asked, "Shichao, I came to see you now, will you blame me?" Gu Shichao still shook his head. "No, I'm very happy that you can come. Actually, a year ago, I heard that you went crazy after practicing martial arts, and I have been running around looking for a way to break it." "What, you?" "It's a pity that I have been searching hard and fruitless, so I went to other realms. Fortunately, hard work pays off. I finally found something in a super ancient secret realm, which may be able to heal your face and sea of mind." Super ancient secret realm? That is a chaotic land that even Emperor Xian has to be extremely careful of. "Are you injured?" That when Gu Shichao heard this, the first thing he cared about was not what that thing was, but whether he was injured. Li Guanhai smiled slightly. "Minor injury, no problem." Gu Shichao bit his lower lip with his teeth, and said softly, "Is it worth it for a useless person like me?" "Whether it is worth it or not is not up to you, but what I say counts." Gu Shichao was very moved. To be honest, she was somewhat dissatisfied with Li Guanhai for coming to see her now. As a result, he had been running around for her for more than a year, trekking hundreds of millions of miles, and even crossing other ancient worlds and taking risks alone to find a solution for her. Thinking of this, Gu Shichao felt ashamed and self-blaming, and was also very moved. He had made so much effort for her, but she blamed him instead. It was really wrong. Gu Shichao's favorability has increased significantly, and the conditions for establishing a bond have been met. Special reminder, the difficulty of establishing the second bond has doubled, and so on. After the system prompt sound ended, Li Guanhai raised his mouth slightly. The two walked into a quiet and elegant courtyard, which was the courtyard where Gu Shichao lived. Sitting down at the stone table, Li Guanhai said, "Give me your hand, I'll take your pulse." "Thank you." Gu Shichao did not refuse, raised his right hand, lifted his sleeves, and revealed his white jade wrist. She looked calm on the surface, but was very shy in her heart. From childhood to adulthood, this was the first time she had physical contact with the opposite sex. Li Guanhai put his fingers on her wrist, his dragon eyes closed. as if he was carefully investigating. However, in his heart, he was waking up the system to check Gu Shichao's personal information, name, Gu Shichao, cultivation level. Soul gathering level 1. Talent, incomplete martial god, constitution, divine holy body, secret magic, Qingbi Butian Ju, Luotian sword technique, cold spring Shishin Pu, rouge blood, one thought 3000, 9 heavens phoenix dance immortal scroll, innate Qiyun, red. After reading the information introduction, Li Guanhai was really surprised. I didn't expect Gu Shichao to be an extremely rare divine holy body. But he hadn't awakened yet. Ancient books and documents record that the last time this physique appeared was tens of thousands of years ago. He was the brightest star of that era, and almost no one in the world could match him. The cultivators who were born in the same era as him were all extremely desperate and sad. From this, we can see how powerful this divine body is. In addition to her physique, Gu Shichao's luck is also ridiculously high, and she actually has red luck. Innate luck is divided from low to high into white, blue, purple, gold, and red. She can reach red luck, which is really a gift from God. After getting through this difficult time, she will definitely have an opportunity and an adventure step by step, and finally sweep the world. TSK. She is worthy of being a girl of luck. At this time, the system prompt sounded, Gu Shichao, the genius, has been identified. Do you want to connect the bond line? Is there any need to ask this? Yes. The bond line is connecting, and the remaining time is 10 seconds, 9 seconds, 8 seconds, successfully bound to the genius, synchronizing. Synchronization successful. Suddenly, Li Guanhai's eyes appeared with various scenes of Gu Shichao's past, but they were fragmented and incomplete. There are also erotic scenes such as bathing and changing clothes. Then, a series of secrets of martial arts appeared, all of which were Gu Shichao's lifelong learning. Task completed, get Tiandao. Treasure box X1, world seed X1. Li Guanhai retracted his fingers and breathed a sigh of relief. It's stable. Gu Shichao was a little nervous and asked softly, young master, how is it? The devil fire burns the heart, revealing the appearance. Li Guanhai said calmly, the martial arts you learned are too unstoppable, and you are too aggressive in seeking success during cultivation, so the devil fire burns the heart. Gu Shichao nodded gently, well, what you said is right, young master. I was indeed eager to succeed at that time, and forced to break through the realm, and finally I was overjoyed and sad. The self-cultivation over the past year has also made your foundation extremely solid. It can be regarded as a blessing in disguise. After your cultivation is restored, your strength will surely advance by leaps and bounds. Li Guanhai said so, and then took out a jade slip with a rosy glow. What is this? The ice skin and jade bone skill can only be practiced by women. It uses innate breathing to stimulate the meridians, perfect the whole body, and can cure serious illnesses and terminal diseases. To put it simply, it is a magical skill to regulate one's body. Gu Shichao was extremely surprised. She could see the magic of this skill, and its value was inestimable. This world is not short of powerful magical skills, but it is extremely short of self-cultivation secrets that can harmonize dragons and tigers and catch the can and fill the li. If the news of this ice skin and jade bone skill spreads, I am afraid it will attract countless major sects to fight for it. Young master, this thing is too expensive, I can't take it. Although she knew that this skill would be of great help to her, Gu Shichao still couldn't accept it calmly because she felt guilty. She didn't do anything. Why should she take such a valuable thing from others? Don't worry about it. I found it for you. If you don't want it, I've been working for nothing for more than a year. Li Guanhai grabbed her hand and stuffed the jade slip into her hand. Gu Shichao's face was flushed and she looked very beautiful. Thank you, master. Li Guanhai let her go, turned around, put his hands behind his back, and sighed, alas, you're still calling me master. It's too faint. Gu Shichao's eyes moved, her cheeks flushed, but she was 7 parts shy and 3 parts happy. She called out softly, husband. Li Guanhai turned around and smiled slightly. Chapter 4, The Good-for-Nothing Takes Over the Body of the Lucky Son. You are listening at novelfull.audio. At the same time, thousands of miles away from Yong'an City, this place is blessed with beautiful scenery and abundant natural resources. The mountains are undulating and stretch for thousands of miles. Above these mountains, there are several divine islands with a radius of thousands of miles. The island is bright with rays of light and auspicious colors. Magnificent and ancient palaces stand in a row, like a fairyland. This is the territory of Qingyun Mountain, one of the 6 ancient clans in Jianshui Ancient Domain. In the palace of one of the divine islands, a young man with long sky-blue hair sitting cross-legged on a futon suddenly opened his eyes. He looked around, his eyes were full of confusion. What is this place? Wasn't he feeding the horse in the Gu family's stable and then kicked unconscious? The next moment, countless fragments of memory poured into his mind like a torrent, giving him a splitting headache and almost fainting. The holy son of Qingyun Mountain, the future master of Qingyun Mountain, the young genius of Tianshui Ancient Domain, holding the power of life and death. The memory fragments were pieced together and reorganized, and finally gathered into a complete river of time. The severe pain gradually dissipated, and the confusion on the young man's face was swept away, replaced by uncontrollable excitement and excitement. I actually took over the body of the holy son of Qingyun Mountain, haha, from today on, my name is Yu Tsang. That the smile on his face became more and more ferocious, and finally turned into madness. Gu Shichao, you are mine. I used to be just a horse feeder, not worthy of you, and you never noticed me, but now it's different. I am the holy son of Qingyun Mountain. Yu Tsang thought of the crisis that Gu Shichao was facing now, and couldn't help but show a smug sneer on his face. Now Gu Shichao and the Gu family are the target of public criticism, and it is said that the man from Yunwei Division has also come to the Gu family, most likely to break off the engagement. She must be weak, humiliated, pitiful, and helpless now. If he rushed over now to help her out of trouble, he would surely win her favor. Thinking of this, he immediately called the servants waiting outside the palace and set off for Yong'an City. The entire Gu family was in a happy atmosphere, and the clan members were busy preparing a welcoming banquet to entertain Li Guanhai. The head of the Gu family and several elders sat in the meeting hall, smiling all the time. It is rumored that young Master Guanhai is cold and unkind. Today, I see that the rumor is wrong. It is probably those scoundrels who are jealous, so they deliberately spread rumors to discredit young Master Guanhai's reputation. That's right, young Master Guanhai is as gentle as jade and elegant, and it has nothing to do with the rumors. Gu Zhuang listened to the discussion of several elders and was also happy. At this time, Gu Shi, dressed in white, walked towards Xuanhuan. Gu Zhuang glanced behind her and asked, Shi Chao, where is young Master Guanhai? He is resting. Rest? Gu Zhuang looked his daughter up and down, considered his words, and asked in a low voice, You did that? What? Gu Shichao was stunned, and when he reacted, his face turned red, embarrassed and anxious. Father, what are you talking about? We haven't developed to that stage yet. Oh. Gu Zhuang nodded, a little disappointed. He was about to persuade his daughter to take the initiative, when a servant ran in hurriedly, out of breath. Master, there are guests outside. Guest? Is it Master Lu or Master Wang? Gu Zhuang asked, subconsciously thinking that it was someone from a family in Yong'an City who wanted to please him. Neither, he said he was the son of God of Qingyun Mountain, named Yu Tsang. Gu family inner courtyard. Li Guanhai was checking his mission rewards. The Heavenly Dao treasure box was a box surrounded by red clouds. System introduction. The Heavenly Dao treasure chest is also divided into levels, from low to high, white, blue, purple, gold, red, and related to the luck of the Son of Luck. Gu Shichao has red luck, so the Heavenly Dao treasure chest dropped is also red. As his mind moved, the Heavenly Dao treasure chest began to tremble, and finally opened with a bang. Host's luck is bursting. Get the Creation Immortal Cauldron *1, Heavenly Dao Chi *1, 10,000 Demonic Thoughts Talent *1. Oh my, the Creation Immortal Cauldron. This is one of the 10 ancient artifacts, with incredible power. It is said that it can create everything and refine everything. There is a strange space inside, and the space is so large that it seems to contain the world. Li Guanhai was amazed again and again. This luck is not worse than the Son of Luck, right? Just as he was about to check the other two rewards, the system prompt sound suddenly rang. the Sun of Luck was detected, triggering the task of clearing the Sun of Luck. Kill or recruit the Sun of Luck to get the heavenly treasure box, the Great Luck, and other rewards. Li Guanhai was confused. What's going on? Another Sun of Luck appeared. What does it have to do with me? The host is a body of heaven, and needs to collect the Great Luck of the Sun of Luck to survive. Special reminder, the host currently has 128 days left in his life. Li Guanhai lives in Bengbu. I'm going to at #**********. On the other side, a man with a divine light all over his body and a head full of sky blue hair walked into the hall. He was dressed in brocade and jade, with outstanding style and a peaceful and indifferent smile on his face. In fact, he was still a little nervous. In the past, he was just a lowly horse feeder and had no right to set foot here. Now I can stand here openly and with my head held high. This feeling of turning over and counterattacking is really wonderful. Thinking of this, the seemingly humble smile on Yucong's face became a little proud. Xuanhuan did not dare to neglect, and stood up to greet him personally. The son of God Yucong has come from afar, but Xuanhuan has missed the opportunity to welcome him from afar. Yucong ignored him at all, staring straight at Gu Shichao not far away, his whole body dumbfounded. She is so beautiful. Her graceful figure, shawl-length hair, cool temperament, and that incomparable face reflect a pure and sacred atmosphere that makes people dare not look at her. Yucong only felt the haze shrouded in haze, and suddenly saw the immortal, and couldn't help but feel ashamed. Xuanhuan was very angry when he was ignored. Young Master Guanhai is extremely noble, and he treats others with gentleness and humility. Why are you, the little godson of Qingyun Mountain, so arrogant? Gu Shichao felt Yucong's gaze, and her charming and slender eyes narrowed slightly. Feeling a little displeased, she hated this look. Yucong reacted and tried to calm down, but his heart was still beating violently. I've been in Yucong of Qingyun Mountain for a long time. I've heard about Fairy Gu's reputation for a long time. When I see her today, I feel truly comforted. The Lord Yucong's words are serious, and Shichao does not dare to take them seriously. Gu Xianzi returned the courtesy slightly. Her tone was light, neither happy nor angry. She always felt that Yucong looked at her with evil intentions and a strong possessiveness. His outward appearance of humility and courtesy is just a disguise. I heard that Fairy Gu's cultivation went awry, so I brought you the holy medicine from Qingyun Mountain. It may be helpful to Fairy Gu. Saying that, Yucong flipped his palm and handed over a purple gold wooden box shrouded in spiritual light. I already have a way to crack it. Thank you, Son of God, for your kindness. Gu Xianzi declined, feeling even more doubtful. Showing courtesy for nothing is either cheating or stealing. Qingyun Mountain is tens of thousands of miles away from Yong'an City, and I have never had any interaction with him. Why would he go out of his way to deliver medicine to me? What exactly is his intention? Chapter 5, The Sun of Luck has come to your doorstep. Are you allowed to leave? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Yucong was rejected and felt a little embarrassed. He put away the purple gold wooden box and said, Fairy Gu, I know that the situation of the Gu family has been a little bad recently. If you need any help, just speak up. As long as I, Yucong, say a word, I will make sure that those villains will not dare to embarrass the Gu family again. Thank you, Godson Yucong. You're welcome. Yucong nodded, considered his words, and said, Fairy Gu, don't take a few setbacks to heart. Li Guanhai abandoned you like a worn-out shoe. That's because he was blind. You. Who is blind? A voice as light as the breeze interrupted him. Everyone looked in the direction of the voice, and a man in black walked into the hall. He was handsome and flawless, and his demeanor was elegant and peerless. Yucong's demeanor and appearance were already extremely outstanding, but compared with the man in front of him, he seemed useless. To describe it in one sentence, it was just a grain of sand, not as good as him. An invisible pressure enveloped the hall. Yucong couldn't help but feel great fear in his heart. His legs were shaking like sieves, and he felt chest tightness, shortness of breath, and cold all over his body. He didn't even dare to look at the man in black clothes, and wanted to turn around and run away immediately. It was too scary. Who is this guy? The person who came was naturally Li Guanhai. He confirmed the other party's identity at the first sight of Yutsang, the son of luck, and the son of luck of the body-taking flow. The luck value is 2,500 points, and the luck level has reached light gold. Not bad, 2,500 points of luck value, although not as good as Gu Shichao's 6,000 points, but it is several times higher than that of ordinary people. Judging from his words and deeds just now, the identity of Yutsang before he was possessed should be related to Gu Shichao or the Gu family, so he appeared here and tried to get close to Gu Shichao. The routine of the loser counterattacking the male god. Ha, how can you covet my young master's fiancé? Guanhai, you're here. Gu Shichao's face showed joy, like a flower just blooming, and he walked up to him quickly, which was completely different from his previous cold appearance. Yutsang saw it with his eyes and was jealous in his heart. The unattainable dream goddess was as cold as ice in front of him, but smiled like a flower to other men, which made him feel that something of his was taken away by someone else. How hateful. Wait. Guanhai. He is Li Guanhai from the Yunwei Division. Li Guanhai, who is said to have the talent to be deified. Yutsang's body began to tremble, and the anger in his heart was instantly extinguished by a basin of cold water. Although he was just a humble horse feeder, he had heard of all kinds of deeds about Li Guanhai. It was rumored that he was cold-blooded and cruel, and did whatever he wanted. He was a very scary person. Now Yutsang had only one thought in his mind: escape from this place quickly, escape from this scary guy. Li Guanhai smiled at Gu Shichao, and then his eyes fell on the pale Yutsang. Whose eyes did you say were blind just now? Being stared at by his eyes, Yutsang seemed to see an endless raging wave in a trance, pushing down the golden mountain and overturning the jade pillar, with an extremely powerful momentum, as if it could destroy the world. Yutsang's legs trembled, and he almost fell to the ground. Although he is now the son of god of Qingyun Mountain and has a high status, he is still the horse feeder in his bones. In such a scene, he didn't know how to deal with it at all. Although he has the cultivation of a mysterious general, in front of the unfathomable Li Guanhai, he didn't have the slightest thought of resisting. I said something wrong, please forgive me, Master Guanhai. Yutsang said with a stiff face. Brother, what are you doing here? At this moment, a crisp female voice came. A girl in a goose-yellow fairy skirt swept into the hall. She was about 16 or 17 years old, with a slender and tall figure, and a slim waist that could not be grasped. Skin is softer than snow, whiter than jade. She is like a flower in the morning dew, lively and pretty. Ye Ling. Why are you here? Yutsang was very surprised, staring at the pretty girl walking quickly. The girl's name is Ye Ling, and she is Yutsang's biological sister with the same father and mother. She was practicing in the temple today. When she heard that Yutsang had left Qingyun Mountain, she was puzzled, so she followed him. Their father asked them to practice in seclusion for half a year and not to go out. Why did he suddenly leave Qingyun Mountain and come to such an unknown small town? Ye Ling was very puzzled. What made her even more unacceptable was that her brother, who had always been arrogant and looked down on the world's geniuses, had just apologized to appear with such a humble attitude. This was simply embarrassing Qingyun Mountain. I followed you, brother. What are you doing here? Ye Ling's eyes were full of suspicion, staring at him closely. I came. Yutsang didn't know how to explain. He stuttered and stammered, and couldn't speak clearly. Forget it, let's go, otherwise my father will be angry again. Ye Ling temporarily put aside the doubts in her heart and said so. Okay. Yutsang couldn't wait to leave here, and Ye Ling accidentally helped him out. Let's talk about the future later. This Li Guanhai is too scary. We must stay away from him. The brother and sister turned around and left, ignoring everyone in the hall. Just as they were about to leave the hall, a calm and cold voice sounded. Did I allow you to leave? Yutsang trembled all over, his scalp was numb, and a chill went straight to the top of his head. It's over. Ye Ling turned around, frowned and looked at Li Guanhai, who was smiling but not smiling, and asked, You dare to stop us? Li Guanhai didn't answer, just looked at her with a smile. Ye Ling thought he had shocked him, snorted coldly, turned around and left. This person is nothing more than that, he's just pretty. Why was my brother so afraid of him just now? Suddenly, two terrifying and murderous auras enveloped the hall, and the air seemed to be frozen. The space in front of them fluctuated, and two cold-faced Qingqi guards wearing green soft leather appeared, blocking the way of the brother and sister. Ye Ling was shocked that these two men actually had Xian Shuai's cultivation. What frightened her even more was that the clothes they were wearing were clearly green soft leather. Yunwei Division Qingqi guard. That Ye Ling's pretty face turned pale and she was frightened. Now she finally understood why her brother had knelt down to that young man just now. Li Guanhai sat on a Grand Master's chair covered with gold cushions and said with a pleasant expression. "This is my fiancé's clan. You two can come and leave whenever you want." "Do you take me, Li Guanhai, seriously?" That Yutsang was so frightened that he could not speak. Although Ye Ling was frightened, he could still maintain his rationality. She bit her lower lip and bowed to salute. Her posture was very low, almost humble. Ye Ling broke into Gu's house without notification. Please forgive me, young Master Guanhai. I don't have to pursue this matter, but your brother has maliciously alienated my relationship with Shi Chao. It's best for him to give me a satisfactory explanation for this matter." Li Guanhai's tone turned cold, and the smile on his face disappeared, becoming indifferent. There seemed to be thunder rolling around the sky and the earth, and a terrifying storm was brewing. Everyone, including the Gu family members, was breathing heavily at this moment. Their hearts seemed to be grasped by a big hand, and their whole bodies were tense. Under this invisible raging force, I didn't even dare to breathe. Chapter 6, The Terrifying Power of the Genius from the Upper Realm. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Including Ye Ling, everyone looked hard at Yutsang's face. Now, his face was pale and his whole body was trembling, like a frightened quail. The Gu family members couldn't help showing contempt in their eyes. That's it? Is this the Son of God who is rare to see in Qingyun Mountain for thousands of years? It's too cowardly. Ye Ling was even more disappointed. She felt that her brother seemed to be a different person today and she almost no longer recognized him. In the past, Yutsang was so high-spirited and arrogant. Even when facing an enemy that was difficult to defeat, he never showed any timidity, but now, he was so scared just because of the other party's words. This is simply embarrassing Qingyun Mountain. Thinking about it carefully, my brother's behavior today is too abnormal. My father explicitly prohibited me from leaving Qingyun Mountain within half a year. Why did the elder brother disobey his father and come here secretly? Why did he come to this little-known town and deliberately sow discord between young Master Guanhai and his fiancée? Loads of questions weighed on Ye Ling's mind, causing chaos in her little head, and she couldn't help but start thinking wildly. Li Guanhai, who was in the first place, had no expression on his face, but he was very disappointed in his heart. Among the books he has read extensively, which son of fortune is not tough-minded and not afraid of power? This Yutsang is too cowardly. His painting style is completely different, no future. With this thought in his mind, his eyes widened. In an instant, a violent wind rose, the earth trembled and the mountains shook, and the majesty of heaven surged down, unstoppable. Ah! Yutsang suddenly let out a miserable howl and fell to the ground, his body thrown to the ground. Bloodlines appeared on his skin, as if it was about to explode. It is simply unbelievable that a man of great general cultivation could be completely crushed by the aura of a peer. The gap in strength between the two is like a world apart. This is the absolute gap between the genius of the lower realm and the genius of the upper realm. Elder brother, Ye Ling exclaimed, and also burst into Xianjiang cultivation, wanting to save Yutsang, but as soon as she took a step forward, her face turned pale and a mouthful of blood spurted out. He stepped back a few steps, feeling extremely horrified. How is it possible? I am already at the middle stage of the mysterious general. It is rare for the younger generation in the Tianshui ancient territory to have an opponent. This Li Guanhai is similar in age to me. How can he have such a strong cultivation level? Is this man a monster? Gu Zhuang and others, who were standing not far from Li Guanhai, couldn't help but swallow. Too strong, really too strong. Is this the terrifying power of the genius of the upper world? Gu Shichao looked at that slender and straight back, feeling in a trance and her heart trembling slightly. Below, Yutsang was completely unable to move under Li Guanhai's pressure, and his screams turned into wails. He coughed up blood, and the cracks on his body spread rapidly like spider webs throughout his body. If this continues, without half a cup of tea, Yutsang will explode and die. Ye Ling was shocked and anxious. Not knowing what to do at all, with her cultivation, she couldn't even protect herself, so how could she save others? In the end, she could only plead, or even beg, to Li Guanhai. What happened today is my brother's fault. Please show your respect, young Master Guanhai. We, Qinyan Mountain, are willing to apologize. Please spare him. Ye Ling's posture was extremely humble, and he was crying when he spoke, almost crying. Li Guanhai glanced at her, and in the next moment, his momentum subsided and receded like a sea tide. The boulder that was pressing on everyone's hearts disappeared, and everyone felt light all over and let out a sigh of relief. Thank you so much, young Master Guanhai, that Ye Ling said this, and hurriedly went to help Yucang, who was already in terrible shape and dying, and injected a spiritual power into his body to stabilize his injuries. Young Master Guanhai, can you allow me to take my brother back first, and then come to your door 2 days later with a gift to apologize? Go ahead. Li Guanhai said calmly, his expression unchanged. Thank you, young Master Guanhai. Ye Ling felt like he was being pardoned, thanked him repeatedly, helped Yucang and left in a hurry. The hall fell silent, and the atmosphere became somewhat silent. The head of the Gu family calmed down his panic, but his lips were still trembling. At this time, Gu Shi moved lightly toward Li Guanhai and came to Li Guanhai's side. Her voice was tender and sweet. Guanhai, do you think this Qinyan mountain god's son is a little strange? Li Guanhai smiled, did you see it too? Gu Shichao nodded and said, although I have never met him, I have heard of him. Rumors say that he is arrogant, wanton and arrogant. But when I saw him today, it was completely different from the rumors. Li Guanhai smiled and said, guess why he is like this? Gu Shichao looked at his meaningful smile and felt that things were not simple. She made a bold guess based on various abnormal things, and finally said, did someone take away his body? Li Guanhai raised his eyebrows, quite surprised. I didn't expect that she is so smart and has a clear mind. She is truly a girl of luck. I don't know if Ye Ling can see it. I just suppressed the son of luck and robbed him of 500 points of luck, adding 2,000 points. The system prompts that points are used to redeem things in the system mall, so you have to check it out. Moreover, Li Guanhai did not intend to let Yucang go. The reason why he let him go was because he was still valuable. It would be a pity to die like this. Children of luck are favored by heaven, and opportunities come to them at every step. As long as you keep an eye on him, you will definitely gain something. On the other side, high in the sky, a magnificent chariot passed through the sky, leaving a long tail of light. In the chariot, Ye Ling was healing Yucang. She frowned slightly, saying nothing, as if she had something on her mind. After returning to Qinyan Mountain, Yucang returned to the palace where he usually lived. Ye Ling looked at his back, pursed her lips, and did not return to her own palace, but walked to the main hall. In the magnificent main hall, a majestic man listened to his daughter's words, and his face became completely gloomy. This man is the current owner of Qinyan Mountain, Yu Kunlun. This Li Guanhai is too arrogant. Then he sighed again. The upper world Yunwei Division is the top of the pyramid in the entire 3,000 ancient domain. He is just a Qinyan Mountain, although it is a top force in Tianshui ancient domain, but in the upper world, it is not even a second-rate force, so no matter how angry or unwilling he was, he could only swallow his anger. This matter was secondary. What shocked and angered him the most was his son's abnormal behavior. If what Ye Ling said was true, then Yucang was indeed very likely to have been possessed by another body. Thinking of this, Yu Kunlun's anger almost burst out, and he was simply full of hatred and madness. He had spent more than 10 or 20 years cultivating his son with all his efforts, and placed all his expectations and hopes on him. But now he was possessed by someone else. How could he accept this? It's absurd. Go and call Yucang to me. Yu Kunlun's voice was low, as if a terrible storm was brewing. Yes, father. Ye Ling felt his anger and did not dare to neglect it. She hurried to the palace where Yucang lived. Half a cup of tea later, she hurried back and exclaimed, Father, my brother fled to the north. Chapter 7, Son of Luck. You are Ye Ling who was kicked to death by a horse, right? You are listening at novelfull.audio. North of Qinyan Mountain, the sky was clear and blue. A divine rainbow passed through the sky, passing through the fog and covering 1,000 miles in an instant. Yutsong looked at the village and mountains below that were rapidly retreating, and his legs felt a little weak. After all, he was just a horse feeder in his bones, and had never ridden in the clouds. It was inevitable that he was a little scared when he traveled in the sky for the first time. The reason why he fled from Qingyun Mountain was because he knew that he would be exposed sooner or later, so he left first to avoid falling into danger. In fact, he wanted to escape when he just left Yong'an City, but because Ye Ling was by his side, she would definitely stop him. If he really started fighting, he might not be able to beat that girl, so he held back and didn't run away. Now that he was far away from Qingyun Mountain, his tense heartstrings finally relaxed. When he thought that he could travel the world and do whatever he wanted from now on, he had the urge to laugh up to the sky, but there was one thing that had been weighing on his mind, that was Gu Shichao. Gu Shichao can be said to be his dream lover, the love of his life, but now, his dream lover is going to get married with someone else. If it were him in the past, maybe it wouldn't matter. At most, he would be envious and jealous, that's all, but now that he has taken over the body of the god of Qingyun Mountain, he is qualified to express his love to Gu Shichao openly. How can he give up? But when he thought of the young man who seemed like a god, he was horrified and shuddered. He didn't have the courage to go against him at all. He just wanted to stay away from him, and it would be best if he never met him again in his life. Just when he was distressed and worried, 3 figures suddenly appeared in front of him and blocked his way. Yutsong was startled and stopped in a hurry. When he saw the clothes of the people coming, he was even more shocked and scared. The 3 people who blocked the road were all wearing soft blue leather, and the cold and murderous aura had locked him. The blue flag guard of the Yunwei Division. How could they appear here? Yutsong had an ominous premonition in his heart. He turned around and ran away without hesitation. He just turned his head and was frightened. At some point, there was a person standing behind him. The two were less than 2 meters apart, but he didn't notice it at all. It can be seen that this person's cultivation is terrible and must be far superior to him. Yutsong's reaction was not slow. He chose to take action directly and sent a full-strength attack to the man behind him. Xian Zhang's peak cultivation burst out without any reservation. In an instant, the vast green light was strong, and the wind and clouds gathered in his palm, as if it could break the world. Then he pushed out a palm with the force of thunder and lightning, tearing the space and falling down. However, the man behind him just waved his sleeves, rolling out a vast black light, covering the sky. Yutsong's extremely strong attack hit the black light, like a mud cow into the sea, and failed to stir up any waves. How could this be possible? Yutsong was shocked and horrified. The person in front of him was definitely not his match. He made a prompt decision, turned into a divine rainbow, and fled to the east, but just after he flew less than 100 meters, his head banged as if it hit an invisible copper wall. It turned out that the surrounding world had been blocked by the magic circle to prevent him from escaping. Yutsong's spiritual energy dissipated, and the whole person fell from a high altitude. A Qingqi guard caught him and sealed his cultivation. The man who had just made the move said, "You come with me back to report to the young master, and the other 2 will stay and clean up the traces of the breath. Don't make any mistakes." Yes. Yong'an City, Gu's inner courtyard. Li Guanhai was still checking the rewards. At that time, in addition to the creation immortal cauldron, the heavenly Dao Qi and the 10,000 demonic thoughts talent were also open from the heavenly Dao treasure box. The heavenly Dao Qi contains extremely pure laws of heaven and earth. When a cultivator refines it, there is a chance that he can comprehend the realm of laws and the realm of rules. After understanding these 2 things, your strength will surely improve by leaps and bounds, and you will be able to reach several levels higher, and it will be easy to kill enemies above your level. This is a good thing, and you have to find time to refine it. Li Guanhai was quite satisfied and continued to check the next reward, 10,000 devil thoughts, a talent reward. From the introduction, it is a secret method of external incarnation. The clone inherits the 7 strengths of the original body, but the aura is exactly the same as the original body. Unless it is a life and death struggle, it will basically not be seen through. There is also a heaven-defying effect, that is, the original body and the clone can be exchanged or merged at any time. This is just the beginning. When you practice the 10,000 demon thoughts to perfection, you will unlock more special abilities. This talent is good. If you have something to do in the future and you can't leave, you can send the clone. As for the world seeds rewarded by the task, as the name suggests, you can open up a new world. This world is called the Inner Universe, which is completely controlled by Li Guanhai. It's a pity that 3 world seeds must be collected to open up the Inner Universe. Looking at the entire upper world, who can control an Inner Universe? This thing is also a supreme treasure, which can be used to save life at critical moments. At this time, 2 divine rainbows fell from the sky. Young Master, Yutsang has been captured. As you expected, Qingyun Mountain has sent people to capture him. Very good, retreat. Li Guanhai said lightly. Yes. The 2 Qingqi guards retreated respectfully. After a while, Yutsang woke up slowly. Am I not dead yet? Where is this? His mind was in a mess, and he was still a little scared when he thought of what happened before he fell into a coma. We meet again. A faint voice sounded. Yutsang suddenly shuddered, and a layer of goosebumps appeared all over his body. He looked sideways. Not far away, a young man in black clothes, like a banished immortal, sat in front of a stone table, flipping through the scroll in his hand. Seeing this man, Yutsang's face turned pale instantly, and his body trembled uncontrollably. Li Guanhai. Li Guanhai's eyes were still on the scroll, and he didn't even look at him, and his voice was faint. I thought you could be of some value to me, but you really disappoint me. This is the truth. The reason why Li Guanhai let him go was that he wanted to use him as a treasure-hunting rat. After all, he is the son of luck, and he is the best at finding treasures, but Li Guanhai was more careful and asked someone to follow him secretly. Once Yutsang's possession was exposed, he would immediately catch him back, because he still needed Yutsang's luck to increase his lifespan, and he couldn't let him die in the hands of others, but he didn't expect that this abscess would be exposed so quickly. It was really hopeless. Yutsang didn't understand what he was saying, but he knew that he was being calculated. I have no grudges against you. Why did you frame me? Frame? Li Guanhai raised his eyebrows. You took over Yutsang's body. Not only did you take advantage of me, but you also came to trouble me, and now you say I framed you. Hearing this, Yutsang's eyes widened, extremely horrified. How did he know? I don't know what you are talking about at all. Yutsang was still stubborn, trying to play dumb and get away with it. Li Guanhai sneered, flipped the book in his hand, and spoke indifferently. There was a horse feeder named Ye Ling in the Gu family who was kicked to death by a horse. It was you. Don't you want to see your body? Yutsang's heart was cold, and he looked at Li Guanhai as if he had seen a ghost. This man was really terrible. In front of him, it seemed that all falsehoods and lies were exposed. Chapter 8, My cousin and I are both girls of luck. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ye Ling, people should know how to be content. Some things are not what you can covet. Li Guanhai's tone turned cold, and his eyes finally fell on him, locking him with murderous intent. The cold wind in the courtyard suddenly blew up, biting and piercing, as if it could freeze everything. In an instant, the wind and clouds changed color, and dark clouds covered the sky, blocking the sun. Yutsang's soul was surging, and he felt the fierce murderous intent. He ignored his dignity and knelt down to beg for mercy. No, don't kill me, Master Guanhai. I was wrong. I know I was wrong. Please forgive me. If you do something wrong, you have to pay the price. Be careful in your next life. The next moment, Li Guanhai's pupils suddenly turned red, becoming extremely weird, full of demonic and evil. No. Yutsang only said one word, and the whole person suddenly froze, and his eyes became dull. 2 spiritual lights were drawn out of the pupils and sucked into Li Guanhai's eyes. After a while, Yutsang fell to the ground. His spiritual power was exhausted. He looked withered and lifeless. He seemed to be drained of energy. Li Guanhai closed his eyes slightly, and opened them after a moment. His pupils had returned to black and white. Successfully plundered 2,000 points of luck and obtained 8,000 points. Complete the luck plundering task and obtain the task reward. World Seed *1. Kill the Son of Luck and obtain the Heavenly Treasure Box *1. Obtain 2,000 points of luck and increase lifespan by 80 days. After the system prompt sound ended, Li Guanhai raised the corner of his mouth, smiled slightly, and opened the personal information panel. Host, Li Guanhai, identity, young master of the Cloud Guard Division, Cultivation Realm, late Xuanhuan, physique, unknown, talent, Tai Chu, Wanxian Emon Yan, Wushan Kanju, innate Qiyun, born a demon fetus, acquired Qiyun, graceful. Remaining lifespan, 233 days, Kung Fu and supernatural powers, Hell Soul Exchange Sutra, Qitian Zhengang, Hun Tian Bao Jian, Fu Yang Long Shi, Tian Dao Jian Gang, Taiyin Sword Ju, Tsujing Jiyue, Ji Lei Shenzong, Shaking Heaven and Dragon Palm, Refining Spirit and Returning to Void Technique. Li Guanhai let out a long breath and looked up at the sky. Okay. The matter of Tianshui Ancient Domain has come to an end for the time being, and it's time to return to the upper world. There are still many things waiting for him to solve in the upper world, such as his useless cousin. His cousin's name is Li Tian. He was fostered in the Li family since he was a child. He was born with useless veins and a broken spiritual sea, and he couldn't practice. For more than 10 years, he has been treated coldly and humiliated, like a rat crossing the street, and everyone shouts and beats him. A few months ago, he suddenly showed his outstanding cultivation and defeated several clan members, making a big splash. This is a template of a son of good fortune. And then he suddenly awakened a golden finger and made a comeback. Familiar routine. I didn't expect that my cousin would be a son of good fortune. Since it is destined to be on the opposite side, he must be strangled in the bud and not given the opportunity to grow. Now think about it, there are quite a few sons of good fortune around me. In addition to Li Tian, the cousins who were expelled from the Yunwei Division seem to be templates of daughters of good fortune, and their departure is closely related to me, and I hate myself. Then let's get rid of Li Tian first, not because of anything else, but because he is in the Yunwei Division and close to me. Time flies, and the sun sets in the west. The closed door of the palace was pushed open, and a white shadow came in the moonlight. The fragrant wind blew, and lotus bloomed at every step. In the center of the hall, behind the screen embroidered with 9 dragons, a man's faint voice came. Shi Chao, what are you doing here so late at night? That the person is Gu Shi Chao. She did not say anything, but closed the door of the hall and walked behind the screen, looking at the man sitting cross-legged on the futon, like a god, her skirt and hairpins half removed. The silk and silk were lightly spread, and the gauze slipped off. The moonlight fell on her slender back. Her skin was crystal clear and tender as snow. She approached slowly, her warm jade-like body leaned against him, and her little mouth whispered softly in his ear. The next day, Li Guanhai gently pinned Gu Shi Chao's black hair behind her ears and asked softly, when did you get rid of the poison spots on your face? Yesterday afternoon. Gu Shi Chao answered softly. Her voice was sweet and shy. The terrible poison spots on her face had completely disappeared. She was really beautiful and charming. Thinking of the embarrassing incident last night, her face flushed and her beauty was bright. She buried her pretty face in Li Guanhai's arms and dared not see anyone. After a long time, she said faintly, are you leaving? Li Guanhai played with her black hair and replied, yes. When are you leaving? Today. Gu Shichao was silent. After a long time, she asked, will you come again? Li Guanhai smiled slightly, scratched her upturned nose, and said with a smile, you are my fiancé, how can I not come? Gu Shichao's face showed joy. Her face was beautiful and could not be looked at directly. Another day passed. Li Guanhai left Yong'an City with more than 10 Qingqi guards, left Tianshui Ancient Domain, and returned to the upper world. Before leaving, he gave Gu Shichao several magic weapons, including body protection magic weapons and killing treasures. And the grades were not low. The lowest was quasi-heaven grade, and there was even a broken holy weapon. The levels of treasures in the world, from low to high, are divided into Huang, Xian, Di, Tian, Di, Sheng, Xian. Shen. A broken holy weapon, if used properly, can even compete with a Xuanhuan. What is the concept of Xuanhuan? It is a person who dominates a place and holds the power of life and death. With this incomplete holy weapon, she can walk sideways in the Tianshui Ancient Domain. Gu Shichao looked at Li Guanhai, who turned into a divine rainbow and left, and her eyes gradually changed from sadness to determination, and there was a faint golden light flickering at her eyebrows. The holy body of the gods is awakening. Dozens of divine rainbows cut through the sky, like falling meteors, and the sky was shaking. With it, after passing through several teleportation arrays, it took 7 days to finally reach the territory where the Yunwei Division was located. Although I already had an idea of the huge size of the Yunwei Division in my heart, I was still shocked when I saw it with my own eyes. The area of the Yunwei Division is tens of millions of miles. Looking around, the sky is boundless and the land is endless. The mountains are in the sky, like floating clouds, flying pavilions are flowing red, carved railings and jade bricks, cloud steps and moon ground, fairy mountain pavilions, and Shinchao Jiangke, shrouded by auspicious clouds, thousands of auspicious mists. It is beautiful beyond words. The sacred mountains are shrouded in chaotic mist, as if they existed before the world was divided. The origin of the Yunwei Division can even be traced back to the beginning of the world. After the birth of all races, the demons came with the force of thunder and swept across the 3,000 worlds. The human hero emerged and led all living beings to fight against the demons. Although the demons were defeated, they also caused the collapse of the Great Way, the incomplete universe, and the luck was almost exhausted, and future generations could no longer cultivate into true immortals or true gods. Later, the world was divided into 9 continents, dominated by the leaders of the 9 human and spirit races. They were afraid that the remnants of the demons would make a comeback, so they established the Yunwei Division. The duty of the Yunwei Division is to enforce the law in Jojo and monitor Jojo. Once the remnants of the demons are found, they will be wiped out at any cost. The power of the Yunwei Division grew day by day. It took less than 100 years for it to grow to the point where it could compete with Jojo. Later, Jojo not only failed to restrain the Yunwei Division, but also had to listen to the opinions of the Yunwei Division everywhere. Later, war broke out in Jojo, and the world situation changed dramatically. Jojo was abolished and no one ruled it. Although the Yunwei Division suffered heavy losses in that war, it survived and continues to this day. Chapter 9, The Son of Luck is My Cousin. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The news of Li Guanhai's return spread throughout Yunwei Division in an instant. Several clan elders woke up one after another, emitted their spiritual thoughts as profound as the sea, and began to communicate. Guanhai is back. In just over 10 days, he has achieved another breakthrough. It seems that Tianshui Ancient Territory and his party have gained something from this child. As expected of the symbiosis of 4 spirits, he is truly an enlightened person. But why doesn't he break off the engagement? Who knows, maybe he has his own plans. Hey, how do you explain it to Xiahou Xianchao? If that old guy Xuanhuan finds out, he will definitely come to our Yunwei Division to cause trouble. I'll make peace with you now that I'm here. If that doesn't work, just take Xiahou's girl as my concubine. It makes sense. Li Guanhai on the other side naturally didn't know what the elders were talking about, so he headed towards the inner island alone. The Yunwei Division is divided into an inner island and an outer island. The inner island is inhabited by the core figures of the Yunwei Division, including clan elders and outstanding young talents within the clan. Ordinary people are not qualified to set foot on the inner island. The Yunwei clan members below looked at Li Guanhai, who was heading towards the inner island. They knew that he couldn't see him, but they still bowed to him with great respect. Li Guanhai did not return to the Fairy Mountain Temple where he lived, but went to the temple where his father was. Wherever he passed, tribesmen and servants came to greet him one after another, their eyes full of admiration and envy. In just over 10 days, the young master actually made a breakthrough again. Such talent is really hard to find in ancient times and modern times. In a palace made of colored glaze and built with precious jade, a man who was not angry and proud was playing a game by himself. Li Guanhai floated into the hall and called softly, "Father." The man's name is Li Yuan. He is the current general banner leader of the Yunwei Division and the current head of the Yunwei Division. Just sitting there, he put a lot of pressure on people, as if Mount Tai was coming. Will there be any gains from this trip to the Tianshui Ancient Territory? Li Yuan looked at him with a smile and asked. Quite rewarding. Li Guanhai continued, "Father, I came here to inform you about breaking off the engagement." Hearing this, Li Yuan waved his hand. "No need, you have your own plans for doing this. As for Xiahou Xianchao, my father will take care of the aftermath for you. As for Xiahou girl, you have to comfort her yourself." Guanhai understands, "Thank you, father. When you have time, remember to go to Daoxian Tiangong to see your mother." She misses you very much. No. Li Guanhai left and returned to his palace in the form of a divine rainbow. Oh, the master is back. The master is really back. In the past half-month when the master has been away, I can't even sleep well. Several charming women with faces as bright as jade and eyes as clear as water cheered and were very happy to see their master back. All of them have good looks, and are unparalleled in beauty. They are like fairies descending to the earth, and their faces are so gorgeous that they cannot be compared. On the outside, they are all peerless beauties who bring disaster to the country and the people. Even compared to those saints of the divine sect, they are not inferior in the slightest. The divine rainbow fell to the ground, and Li Guanhai's figure appeared. The eyes of the women were shining. Although they wanted to rush up and act coquettishly and indulge him, they did not have the courage. They only dared to bow and salute not far away, and secretly looked at him. At this time, Li Guanhai suddenly turned his head, with a smile like melting ice and snow on his face. The astonishing eyebrows and the gentle jade-like gaze are so perfect that they are unreal. At this moment, everything was silent and flowers were falling like rain. The girls were all mesmerized, their beautiful eyes looking straight at him, their mouths slightly open, and they were stunned. Master, he actually smiled. Oh my God, does the sun come out from the west today? I never thought that I would be able to see the smile of my master in my lifetime. This life is really worth it. After Li Guanhai entered the palace, he suddenly called, Ningxuang. The next moment, the space fluctuated, and a woman wearing black neon clothes appeared in the hall like a ghost. Owner. Her voice was cold, but it had a charming but not greasy tone, which was naturally charming. A pair of light blue eyes, with sharp eyes, showing an indifference that would repel people thousands of miles away. She has a tall figure, a thin waist like a bee, a slender waist and large breasts, and is fair and plump, just like a ripe peach. Any man's blood will surge when he sees it and it will be difficult to control it. This woman's name is Li Ningxuang. She is Li Guanhai's personal attendant. And one of his most trusted confidants. Tell me about Li Tian's recent whereabouts. Yes. Li Ningxuang replied respectfully, Li Tian has not taken any action in the past few days. He has been staying at home. 7 days ago, he left the outer island to go out for training and met the saint of Bingchan Palace. The two of them explored a secret place together and have not returned yet. Oh, Li Guanhai raised his eyebrows, came to the front seat, sat down, and asked, what is the name of the saint of Bingchan Palace? Lu Yulin. Li Ningxuang answered and walked behind him, stretching out her white and slender jade fingers. She gently kneaded his shoulders, smelling the faint fragrance of the beautiful lady. Li Guanhai took her smooth and greasy hand and played with it gently. Li Ningxuang's face, as cold as ice, glowed with red clouds, and she was so beautiful that she couldn't be compared to anything else. Go and check Bingchan Palace for me, especially the saint. Yes, master. The outer island of Yunwei Division, a young man with a handsome appearance and resolute eyes walked out of the teleportation array. Although he looks ordinary, he naturally exudes a sense of righteousness that is impossible to ignore. This person is Li Tian. He had a faint smile on his face and seemed to be in a good mood. This time, I not only gained a lot from the training, but also made a good friend, Lu Yulin. They met by chance in a market. At that time, Lu Yulin was holding a map of the secret realm, but she didn't know how to decipher it. Li Tian happened to pass by and helped her decipher the map, and the two met each other since then. Later, they explored the secret realm together and became friends. Li Tian felt that he and she were very compatible. In addition, she was beautiful and elegant, and after a few days of getting along, he couldn't help but feel good about her. Li Tian grew up in cold eyes and contempt since he was a child. He was lonely for more than 10 years and had no friends. Now that he has a good friend who treats him sincerely, he certainly cherishes it very much, and in his heart, he has already regarded Lu Yulin as his woman. Li Tian is confident that as long as he accomplishes that thing, he will be able to impress her heart and win her back. Thinking of this, he couldn't help but smile on his face and strode towards the courtyard where he lived. When the young tribesmen on the outer island saw him, they all cast curious and complicated eyes. Li Tian was born with a broken meridian and a damaged spiritual sea, which made him unable to practice. This was known to everyone in the entire Yunwei Division. But more than 10 days ago, he suddenly showed the cultivation of a mid-stage xiancher and defeated several young tribesmen who provoked him, making a big splash. This incident caused a small stir in the outer islands. Some elders of the outer islands also noticed this young man who had turned over a new leaf, and thought that he was a late bloomer and worth cultivating. This also made Li Tian's status rise sharply. At least in the outer islands, no one dared to insult him casually as before. Not long after, Li Tian returned to his own courtyard. He looked in the direction of the inner island, and his eyes gradually became cold and sharp. Li Guanhai, Li Yuan, and that vicious woman, I will make you pay the price. His pupils were bloodshot, and he gnashed his teeth and hated when he spoke, as if he had an irreconcilable hatred with these three people. Chapter 10, Good Calculation. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In the Jade Building, Li Guanhai sat alone in the first seat. A system panel that only he could see appeared in front of him. After killing Yutsang, a golden treasure chest of the heavenly Tao fell, but he had not had time to check it. Now he had time to see what it was. As his mind moved, a golden box jumped out and opened with a bang. Congratulations to the host for his great luck in obtaining the Divine Whip *1. The Divine Whip is 3 feet 6 inches and 5 minutes long, divided into 24 sections, with 3 talismans in each section, for a total of 72 talismans. This whip does not hurt the body, but only hits the soul. It also has a heaven-defying effect, which is to ignore the realm of cultivation. Li Guanhai raised his eyebrows, and his eyes showed an interested look. The Divine Whip, this name is quite intimidating. As for its power, it remains to be verified. At this moment, an extremely mysterious force suddenly surged into the body, flowing through the limbs and bones, warming the spiritual sea, and moisturizing the whole body. The spiritual power in the body has actually increased a bit, and the cultivation has also made a small step forward. What is this power? Just when Li Guanhai was confused, the system prompt sound suddenly sounded. The bound genius Gu Shichao has a realization, and the cultivation has broken through to the Guiyuan realm. The host has obtained perfect realization synchronization and 50% cultivation synchronization. Li Guanhai suddenly realized, it turns out that as long as the bound genius breaks through the realm or has some realization, he will also gain great benefits from it. This function is simply against the sky. When there are more bound geniuses in the future, even if he does not practice, his cultivation realm will rise rapidly. Thinking of this, Li Guanhai can't wait to find the next daughter of luck. Before that, he has to kill the son of luck around him first. This son of luck is of course Li Tian. Just now, the system prompted that the son of luck was detected, and then Li Ningshuang came to report that Li Tian returned to Yunwei Division. In this way, his identity as the son of luck is confirmed, and Li Guanhai will start to plan to deal with him. If it was before, to deal with such a waste, just kill him directly. But now it is different. Li Tian showed extraordinary talent some time ago, and several elders of the outer islands thought he was worth cultivating. If I take action against him at this time, it will definitely cause dissatisfaction among several elders, and no matter what, Li Tian is Li Guanhai's cousin. Once the news of killing his brother spreads, it will have a great impact on his reputation, although he doesn't care about his reputation, let alone the dissatisfaction of several elders. It will affect his subsequent planning and development in the upper world. For many subsequent plans, he must maintain an image of a gentle and elegant gentleman, so Li Tian can't die in his hands. At least it can't be known to the world that Li Tian was killed by him, and before killing Li Tian, he must hit him several times to wear down his luck. In this way, when he is killed in the end, he can get more rewards and maximize his benefits. But how to hit him? Li Tian lost both his parents when he was young. He had no relatives or friends and was alone. He had no weaknesses. Suddenly, Li Guanhai had a flash of inspiration and thought of someone, the saintess of Bingchan Palace, Lu Yulin. Would Li Tian have any thoughts about her? Looking at the incense burner with musk, Li Guanhai raised his lips slightly. It seems that Lu Yulin is Li Tian's weakness, but I don't know what she thinks of Li Tian. The specific situation and subsequent plans will have to wait until Li Ningshuang finishes the investigation before making a decision. Speaking of which, this cousin of mine has an irreconcilable hatred with me. The death of his parents and relatives can be said to be inseparable from me and my father and mother. The cause of the incident is related to a companion called Guanyin Liugu. On the day Li Tian was born, auspicious signs fell from the sky. The sound of Tao rolled, and the divine light covered 3,000 miles. The sound of the world echoed above the 9 heavens. More importantly, he has a companion creature in his body, Guanhai. This object has the power to reverse time and space, and possesses the supreme power of law. Seeing this divine object, Li Yuan had a perverted idea. He took advantage of the fact that Li Tian's parents and clansmen were out, and forcibly dug out the time-flowing bone and placed it in Li Guanhai's body. Later, in order to eliminate the root of evil and prevent future troubles, Li Yuan and his wife sent their confidants to kill Li Tian's parents and clan elders. All the branches of that lineage were annihilated, except Li Tian. Originally, Li Yuan wanted to send him to the underworld together, but a clan elder with a high status couldn't bear it and said that Li Tian was already a useless person and posed no threat, so there was no need to kill him, so Li Yuan let him go. This is probably the whole story. Li Guanhai raised his mouth. It's really an irreconcilable hatred Li Tian has been enduring in the Yunwei Division for so many years. This character and tenacity are really not simple. It can only be said that he is worthy of being the son of destiny. Which of the sons of luck who have turned from good-for-nothings into good-for-nothings has not suffered from humiliation, endured humiliation, and endured in silence since childhood? This is just the entry standard for the sons of luck, nothing big, but what we can know is that Li Tian, the son of luck, is much more promising than the son of God in Qinyan Mountain. That guy is simply a coward. Even if he takes over the body of a strong man, he is still a pile of mud that can't be helped. There is no sense of accomplishment in dealing with him. Now there is only one last question, which is what Li Tian's golden finger is. System, special ability, or the mysterious old man in the ring? This matter is still to be investigated. 3 days later, Li Ningxuang came back with the information she had investigated. She was eloquent and clear, and she explained the current situation of Bingchan Palace in a few words. It also included many secret events that few people knew about. Li Guanhai was very satisfied with her efficiency, and praised her with a smile. You did a good job, Ningxuang. I feel relieved to have you by my side. Li Ningxuang's eyes moved, her cheeks flushed, and she lowered her head and said, It is Ningxuang's honor to be with the master. Li Guanhai smiled, and his fingers gently slid across her tender face. Li Ningxuang's body was tense, her whole body was soft, and her watery eyes were charming and passionate. Li Guanhai took back his palm and asked with a smile, Have you heard any news about Li Tian these 2 days? Yes, he has been leaving the outer island frequently these 2 days, going to various secret mountains and gathering a lot of spiritual herbs and magic medicines. He also bought a cauldron from the Putian Business Alliance, probably to make medicine. Li Ningxuang's voice was soft and gentle, cold and charming, and it made people's hearts flutter and their minds intoxicated. Make medicine, Li Guanhai thought for a while, then smiled gently. The master of Bingchan Palace suffers from a strange disease, and Lu Yulin left Bingchan Palace to find a way to solve it for her. If I'm not mistaken, Li Tian wants to make medicine and cure the master of Bingchan Palace, so as to please Lu Yulin and gain her favor. Master is quick-witted. Ningxuang admires him. Li Ningxuang looked at him with admiration. In fact, there is another deeper meaning, which Li Guanhai did not say, that is, if Li Tian succeeds, he will not only please Lu Yulin, but also make the entire Bingchan Palace grateful to him. What a good plan. You are making a lot of calculations, but how can I let you succeed? Warm reminder, if you find that clicking the next page will force you to jump to other websites, please use the chapter error or contact us at the bottom to inform us. We will handle it as soon as possible. Thank you for your understanding.